for sitting down with us today. And could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your involvement in esports?
Yeah, sure. So, like you said, I am in esports. I help with the UBC team and also with a challenger team called Dream Team. And for both of those two teams, I am a data analyst, and that's my skills in League of Legends. My actual background in League of Legends, I rarely play. I'm not even ranked 30. I'm not ranked anywhere at all. But I have a data analysis background. And the good thing with League of Legends is that there's tons of data all over. And if you can use that data, you can use that data to your advantage, and that's what I do with UBC team and with Dream Team.
Wow. Well, so since the esports scene is still pretty young, and there's no kind of clear path on how to become an analyst, how do you think, how did you find this job?
There is no clear path to becoming an analyst.
Yeah.
I have no idea how I got into it. I think I kind of fell over a bit lucky into it, honestly. I did my master's thesis in data analysis in basketball.
Wow.
And I coach basketball. I'm a college basketball coach here in Vancouver. And I also work as a data analyst for the Canadian men's national basketball team.
Oh, wow.
So those data and analytics skills with basketball, I used those data analytics skills in League of Legends. Now, how I got started in League is that I went to an anime convention last summer.
Yeah.
And the UBC team had a booth at this convention. I ended up meeting the president at the time, Han Tao, meeting the manager and one of the players on the team for the UBC team. Asked them if I could help. Asked them if there's even any data at all. And then, yeah, I didn't even know that there was good data in League of Legends when I first started.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to help, and then, yeah, that's kind of how I started. I just really fell into it. It wasn't anything that I had planned. It just happened to be at a convention, and
Well,
it's
I
all
guess,
changed from there. Yeah.
There's a little bit of luck in everything, right?
Yeah.
So,
But it's been a weird background, or not weird, but it's been. I don't know if you would be able to follow this background for everybody.
Yeah.
I think
It's just-
the other people that I know that are also data analysts in League of Legends, they have varied backgrounds as well. So I keep in touch with some other analysts, and there's no preferred pathway to get there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, sports and esports slowly kind of, getting into the whole sports scene as well, into the Olympics as well. So, it kind of correlates. It's useful. So
I think it's we can get into this. Might be a totally different topic discussion, but
yeah.
I do coach basketball, or I coach basketball, but I do think that esports is a real sport.
Yeah.
And you can argue it one way or the other. Some people you just can't convince, but yeah, I think it's right up there.
I do think so too.
Yeah.
So, as you said earlier, you're not a actual league player, and you you are a league player, but not pro.
No.
And most of analysts are not former pro players either. So, what do you think are some qualities that you would kind of need for an analyst to be successful?
You have to always want to learn and improve with what with the game, with the things you don't understand. I definitely, I guess you just have to keep an open mind. When I first started, because I didn't have a background in League, then I had to ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And if you ever talk to other people that I work with, I do ask questions a lot with the teams that I work for, because I want to know what the players are thinking and what the actual experts that know the game are thinking. So, but yeah, just ask lots of questions and then try to keep an open mind, and then just try to learn. And one thing I do as well is when I find someone else that does data analysis in League of Legends, then I contact them, I try to stay in touch with them, and then I ask them about how they do their methodology and what things they find are successful, their own strengths and weaknesses and things like that. But I guess with coaching as well, I find being an analyst very similar to being a coach in that you may have to wear more than one hat. For a Dream Team and for UBC, I didn't just do data analysis. I actually did some coaching as well, and I as I was helping coach the teams, I realized that I could use my basketball coaching skills as well to help the team, aside from just doing the data.
You gotta work really hard to learn the game too. So can you describe a day in life of an analyst for a gaming team?
So for Dream Team, it was very different from UBC. So for Dream Team, it was 7 days a week. It was a lot of work, and I was apprehensive when I first started because it was like when Broken Shard and In a Row, when they first asked me about joining the team, they told me the demands, and I was like, oh my God, I can't handle it because I teach as well. I teach college geology and I coach basketball, and I didn't know if I could afford the time, but it was a 7-day-a-week thing. I'd come home and I would look at all of the data from the scrims because the team plays about 6 scrims a day. So there was 6 scrims worth of data coming in every single day. Plus you have to prepare for your upcoming match, for your own team, what your strengths and weaknesses are for your own team, the upcoming match of your opponent as well. And then we gave them Thursdays off, but Thursdays was the day that I would calculate all the data, and then the coaching staff as well would look through all the VODs. And then at night, on Thursday night, we would meet and talk about what went well, what was things that were struggling, and then what to do to prepare for the next upcoming match the next Wednesday. So, but yeah, it was for myself teaching Monday through Friday at the college, and then Saturdays and Sundays I'd be on the call. I'd be actually watching the scrims and with the team and listening to the communication. So that's with Dream Team, and then with UBC, we scrimmaged only Friday, Saturday, Sunday only, because that's when we had the availability with Heaven Time, who was the coach of UBC, and the guys would kind of scrimmage as well on their own Tuesdays, Thursdays, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, kind of depended week to week, but then on the weekends we would actually get together and I would be on the call with them. There wasn't as much data though with UBC. The game's scrimmage data is not calculated on match histories because the games are stopped before the game is finished, so the data is not online. So you can there's not as much data for UBC, so I didn't have as much to go on. I had to use only just the games that the teams had played, which wasn't as much. So yeah, similar, but the Dream Team was definitely more of a load for sure.
Definitely a lot of work into making
Yeah.
a Dream Team. So Korean solo queue appears to be a very good indicator of what's strong, what's not. And do you watch the LCK matches or pay
Yes.
attention to the Korean
I watch a
solo
ton of
queues?
LCK.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Wow.
I watch LCK, LPL, EU, NA.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
tons of time watching.
Yeah, I watch most of my watching though is LCK. And part of that reason is that with UBC team Heaven Time watched a lot of NA and LCK, and with NA, when I was with the Dream Team as well. Well, I'm still with the Dream Team, but with the Dream Team, we paid so much more attention to NA because that's where we're playing and Challenger, and we want to know how these things transition to the pro level. So I would watch other regions to help. Part of my duties was to help bring ideas in as well. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I would watch some LCK.
I see.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the anti-lanes?
Anti-lane swapping.
Yes, anti-lane swapping changes that are implemented. And
Yeah.
do you think this promotes a healthier meta game, or was this unnecessary on their part?
I don't know why they did it, but it is honestly now more boring, I think. Yes, I think there was much more nuance and more interesting things that happened in a lane swap. Tempo was really important, and objectives. And you did have to pick, you had to pick your champions if you're going to lane swap or not, and then and play into that style. But now in standard lanes, there's more action. You see more matchups in the 2v2, maybe more kills.
Yeah.
And it's more important on the jungler to, if they can invade, but the jungler, I think what I've been seeing is that the junglers need to be invading when they can, and not necessarily, like they have to see if the lanes are pushing first, if they can invade. So the champion select is a little bit different. The game is very different. I'm not sure why Riot did it.
Yeah.
I guess it's up to, I mean, it's their game.
That's true.
So
They're trying to take a step forward between the two.
yeah, they must have a good reason.
Yeah. So what do you think are NA's chances this year at World, and how do you think the teams performed during 2016?
It seems as though I've been following League for about 2 years now. And it seems as though NA is getting better every single year. But it's hard to measure the best NA teams even against themselves because they don't play top level caliber teams as often. I think the depth in LCK is a little bit is deeper, and so teams in LCK are getting tested more often. You know, the teams at the top of NA are very good, but the repetition against quality opponents is really key as well to be testing yourselves against. So I'm not really sure how NA will do. I hope they do well.
Yeah, of course.
I'm more just interested in I don't really cheer for a particular team or a particular region. I'm more just interested in how things are going in the overall scene. Yeah.
I see. Okay. So we've all heard jokes about Cloud9's challengers farming.
Yeah.
And in your honest
They
opinion,
beat us.
Yeah.
Cloud9 Challengers beat Dream Team, and
Oh man.
yeah,
So in your
we're
honest
no longer in Challengers, so
Oh really?
we're no longer. We didn't get promoted. I mean to LCS. So
It's okay.
this
Okay.
hits very close to home.
Sorry. In your honest opinion, what are your thoughts on the current LCS format? And primarily, does the current Challenger system provide a clear pathway for teams to reach and compete at a LCS level without being relegated by the end of this split?
Did you see Monte Cristo's VOD on this whole topic?
Not the recent one, no.
So one of the reasons that, do you want to go into like franchising as well? Okay, so I do think promotion and relegation is good because it produces teams, there's an incentive to win and there's penalties for losing. One of the arguments though with investors in getting a stable product is that if an investor invests in an LCS team and then they get relegated, then their investment isn't as profitable, it isn't as fruitful, and that is a pretty high risk. So you have to invest usually in a new team that makes it in, or on a newly formed team. And you also then have to invest in good coaching staff and good players to make it, but you may not actually qualify and make it on from a challenger up to the LCS. So that whole investment structure is not as stable. So the pro teams are talking about getting franchising, which means that if you get you can have a sister team in the challenger, and players can move up and down, kind of like a farm system in other pro sports, which is one way of doing it as well. But it adds the stability that the investors and the owners are looking for. So I'm fine with franchising. I'm fine with promotion relegation, but I understand the argument of stability that is much more needed, especially if you want bigger investors and more stability for the league as a whole. So, but I am not butthurt at all about C9 beating us, Dream Team, out of the LCS promotion. It's just they beat us fair and square.
Just gotta try a little harder next time, right?
Yeah, just keep working.
So what are your thoughts on how esports have grown so fast throughout the past few years, and where do you think they're gonna be headed next?
So it's been crazy. My brother, shout out to Denis Beausoleil. My brother introduced me to League of Legends a couple years ago, and he sat me down and got me to watch a game. And I'd never watched it before. I didn't really know what it was. Never played League. Never really heard of it. But I watched the game, and I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really fun. It was really interesting. And I just asked him questions the whole time about like what was going on in the game. And after watching, I actually watched a couple of games. And I was thinking like, this game is really, really similar to basketball. I found it was 5-on-5. In basketball is an invasion sport as well. you know, where you have to invade the other enemy, the enemy. You have to invade the opponent's court, territory, or whatever, to score. And the same in League of Legends, it's an invasion type of sport. So you can put them on kind of under the same category. It's 5-on-5 as well. Yeah, strategy. The thing that I realized right away though, that communication is critical.
Yes.
Same as in basketball.
Yep.
Communication is critical. Team chemistry, teamwork. It seems so similar to basketball and to other sports that I was more familiar with. And I was like, I can't believe that this sport's out there. It's going to be so big.
It's great.
And you know, the millions of people that watch League of Legends around the world. I'm happy that I was able to get part of it. I'm happy that Untitled president UBC at the time helped me get on with the team with Carmen Lam. People helped me start in my League of Legends career. So but I think as people say, the sky's the limit. I think League of Legends can grow even more.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to someone who is wanting to become an analyst?
An analyst or a data analyst. I do actually think the title of those two positions are different. To be a data analyst, I can speak to that pretty obviously. So to be a data analyst, you just have to understand how to do data analytics and then how to apply it to the thing that you're trying to apply it to. Okay. So it didn't take me that long to learn how to apply how to apply the data analytics into League of Legends. It took me a while to understand what was important and what's not important because I needed to understand the game better, but the actual skills of analyzing data from basketball to League is pretty similar. But then to be an analyst as well, some of the people that were helping Dream Team, they do have some data background, but they have much better understanding of the game as a traditional analyst perspective. If you look at teams' websites, the position titled analyst is usually someone that knows the game and knows gameplay and can teach macro. And Dream Team as well, we had analysts as well that were exceptionally good at teaching the macro and also knew a little bit of data that could help out. So when it comes to being an analyst of the game, you have to actually play. I am not a gameplay analyst. Right? I understand the game a little bit because I watch a lot, and I'm starting to learn, and I'm starting to understand things more, but there's still a lot of the macro that I still don't quite get because I just haven't played as much or understand the game as in depth as the actual analysts.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, so do you have any plans for your future in this field? And also, seeing as right now you're not a game analyst, would you want to eventually be an analyst and maybe sit on an analyst desk one day?
I don't want to be a game analyst at all. No, I want to be a data analyst for League of Legends. So I don't know where this is happening, but I guess I'll just say this. I did apply to Riot to work as the data analyst for Riot. There's a stats coordinator position at Riot. And I applied to it, and I sent in my application, sent in my project. Haven't heard back. I just sent it in just pretty recently, so we'll see what happens there. But my goal, though, is to be an analyst, to be a data analyst in League of Legends, and to use data to help explain what's happening in the game.
So, do you have any last shout-outs or plugs you'd like to tell people?
I've dropped pretty much most of the names of the people that helped me out so far.
Yeah.
But yeah, Victor Ho, current president UBC, Carmen Lam, Heaven Time, Broken Shard, Inner O, Neil from Dream Team, my boy, B Sin, and all the Broken Shard guys, or all the Dream Team guys. They were a really good group of guys to work with. And I really became fond of them over the summer working with them. So yeah, it was a good group.
Okay, well that's great. And I guess we should do an outro. Okay. So this was Denis. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this interview. Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry.